Welcome back to Don't Lift Off. So today I'm going to continue stripping off my novice wings, stripping my billy wings, as John Pratt would say, and speak to another bona fide motor racing star. So I'm going to be speaking to Mika Salo and his son Max. So Mika doesn't need much introduction to people that have watched motor racing, particularly in the 80s, 90s and noughties. So Mika was a race winner, prolific race winner in Formula 3, racing against his compatriot Mika Häkkinen, the two of them absolutely blitzing the 1990 Formula 3 championship before Mika Häkkinen going into Formula 1, Mika Salo going off to Formula 3000 and then finally making his debut with Lotus in Formula 1 and then moving on to 3 years with Tyrrell, racing with Arrows, racing with other teams such as BAR and most famously substituting for Michael Schumacher, finishing on the podium at Hockenheim in a race he could have very easily won, and also finishing on the podium at Monza, I believe. Before then, embarking on again, prolific sports car and GT career out in America and in Europe with Le Mans. And his son Max is following in his footsteps. He's racing in Formula 4, and then he's now racing in GT4 over in Japan. So I'm really looking forward to speaking to those guys. It's a slightly off-the-wall podcast that we're going to be speaking to them while they're in the car on the way to go and buy a car. So it's going to be a bit random. I'm sure it'll be all over the place. We'll see how we get on with the reception. But anyway, I'm going to take it for what it is and see if we can have a bit of fun with these guys. Again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and support me to keep bringing this content to you. All right, enjoy the conversation. Yeah, no worries, man. Well, thanks for coming on Don't Lift podcast. I've not actually done a formal introduction, so you don't really need much in the way of introduction. So we've got Mika and Max Salo. God, do you ever introduce yourself on this, Mika, or do you let somebody else do the introductions?
I don't care. I'm just driver.
Point me in the way of the track and just let me go fast.
Yes.
So you guys, you're on the way to collect a new car, and you've kindly given me a little bit of your time. Whereabouts are you? Over in Finland at the moment?
In Helsinki, yes.
Nice. And so, Max, where
Today?
are you? So you're normally jetting off to Japan and back. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm constantly flying back and forth. So yeah, most of the time in Finland, but during the races in Japan.
Nice. So yeah, no, thanks for coming on. I mean, so you guys, I suppose, Mika. So my friend Matt Kelly said he knew you back in the late 80s, I suppose, right?
I think so, yeah, late 80s.
So he was telling me that he used to have a Lancia Delta Integrale back then.
Yes.
On Finnish plates.
Yes.
Doing big skids at every given opportunity.
Exactly, yes.
Oh man, so I feel like I've been both of your stalker for the last 48 hours, really. I've been all over Instagram, all over everywhere I can find on internet. I found some corking videos, actually. I don't know, I'll try and get them on screen here to show you. There's some... Max, have you seen much of your dad's racing from the past?
Pretty much all of them. Everything that I could get my hands on.
Have you seen there's some early karting ones. There's a corker here. Let me see if I can get it on screen. So this is...
The karting was a little bit less than the other driving.
Even I haven't seen the karting one.
Let me see if I can get this one. This is an absolute cracker. I wouldn't recommend watching it while you're driving necessarily, but let's see if I can... Can you see that on screen?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's something like the 70s or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, this is a TV program they made of me when I was 11,
Okay.
I think.
So what were
So
these,
just a few years.
like 100cc?
Yeah, I think they were 50cc. That's like youngest you can race in the Finnish championship.
Right, so you were about 11 back here.
Yeah, so just a few years ago. I don't remember, but they were like Saint Joe engines like a Husqvarna and partner. I remember they used those chainsaw engines.
Yeah. Now there's a fella here that's got an amazing mustache. Is that your dad?
Must be my dad. My dad had a mustache. Still has.
Yeah, that's just like the best mustache I've ever seen. Is this a local championship you were doing? It was all in Finland, I'm guessing.
Yes, it was mandatory that time because we were so small, and if it went upside down, there's at least little protection.
So what was the story? So please correct me and please tell me to shut the hell up if you've answered this 1,000 times in your life. But what was the gig with Häkkinen? Was he local to you then?
Yeah, he was next door neighbor. There he is.
No way.
Yeah, he was next door neighbor. We lived in the same street.
That's unbelievable. And so you
Yeah.
ended up in like being like rivals through. Was he a little bit older than you?
No, he's actually 1 year younger, so he was always 1 year behind me uh,
Right.
in every championship. So that's why I won all the championships on my age, and he won all his age.
Right. The Flying Finn brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that,
unbelievable. You
that's
ended up
that
being like
that
being.
that is filmed right next door to Häkkinen. This is my garage, and his was about 50 meters away from me.
Did you kick around together before you were doing racing?
Not really, no, because in that age you don't really hang around with the kids younger than you. So we had a 1 year difference, and we were in different schools. But we met at the circuit, and of course then we knew each other.
So you went. The thing that I couldn't find much of, randomly enough, was the Formula Ford. So you obviously went on to do Formula Ford.
Yes. In those age, those times, you couldn't drive Formula Ford until you were 18. Like nowadays, your kids can drive F4 already when they're 15. But those times, you needed to have a driving license to go move on to bigger cars. So I did karting until I was 18. And my problem was that I was born in November, so I missed always a whole year.
So what? So you did like the Finnish championship in Formula Ford then, right?
First year I did Finnish and Swedish and few Scandinavian races also, but I was doing national service same time. It's military, and I missed the half of the season because of that. So motor racing was not considered as a sport that time in Finland, so they didn't give me any free time from army. Like when Kimi went to army, he barely went there at all because they let him go for all the races. But in my time, it was not possible.
And so I've got a photo of you doing the festival. This is so you came and did what 87 for the festival, Formula Ford Festival in the UK.
I did it twice, I think, 87 and 88.
Ah, I see. So I think you're back here at number 10. What chassis would you have used in Formula Ford?
We had a Van Diemen on the first year in 87, and then 88 I got Swift from Frank Bradley. He gave me the car, and then 88 was the year I won every race I started. I won the Finnish, European, and Scandinavian and Swedish championships.
In the Swift?
Yes.
So who were you racing against when you were doing that in Finland?
In Finland, there was not much competition that time. Häkkinen was. I don't think Häkkinen was doing it 88 yet. He did something else in 88. But in Finland was not much. But in European Championship, Schumacher finished second. Michael, he finished second in every race which I won.
Wow. There's a friend of mine, Michael Vergers, was doing Formula Ford around that sort of time. I don't know if you remember Michael. We had him on the podcast.
I remember, yes. I think he was doing British Championship, I think.
Yeah. He was. I think he was champion 1990.
Yeah, I moved on to Formula 3 already 89.
And so Mika was doing Formula 3 at the same time, from what I could see in the results.
2 years together, Formula 3 in England. But we both chose the Reynard chassis for 89, and it was not competitive at all. And also Alpha engine was not competitive. So then year after 1990, we both took Ralt and Mugen engines, and then we won all the races also that year.
Yeah, that was really interesting year. So it was the battle of the two Mikas. So I spoke to your former mechanic Skelly,
yes,
and he was telling me some interesting stories, some of which I can't really repeat on the podcast. But it sounds like you had quite an interesting time back in the 90s.
Yeah, Skelly was my mechanic for, I think, both of the years, actually, because I stayed with Alan Docking all the time, and I still run into him sometimes. I see him somewhere.
Yeah, he said the last time he saw you, you were chucking a loaf of bread at his face. A bread bun arrived. So at this point, you had Colts.
Yeah, it was called Sponsor, but we had so much fun because it was Alan Docking racing, and half the guys were Australians, and there was some Brits in there also. But we had so much fun those 2 years.
So what was Northampton like? What was it first time you coming over to Europe? Was it, because Matt said that you lived over in Northampton? What was that like?
Yeah, it was not spectacular, I'd say. It was all right. It was okay. It was my. I had a nice house there, so it was okay. I felt okay there.
Did you live in Northampton town?
Yes. First year a little bit outside, and then second year I took apartment from the center.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Northampton's an interesting place to go clubbing. I mean, God, I used to go out there. So I used to work at Silverstone quite a lot as an instructor, and we used to go out. What clubs were open then? I'm trying to think of. So we used to go to it was Chicago Rock Cafe was open then. What can you remember any of the clubs from back then?
No, I can't remember any. There was one Mexican restaurant I went a lot because it was owned by a Finnish speedway guy, Jousanen. His name was. He was a many times champion in the speedway motorcycles.
Okay.
And, I hang around a lot with him there.
Nice. So that was quite a challenging year, but that was between both of you. So it sounds like a pretty close one championship. So you were leading at first, and then you had a moment at Snetterton whilst you were leading, I hear.
I can't remember, but I remember that we shared all the wins. We won every race except one, when we managed to hit each other, and Steve won that one. And
oh, really?
And, I think we won all the other races. Yes.
So you finished first and second in the championship, and then so Mika went off. The other Mika went off to the Lotus to race with Lotus, and you went off to Japan.
Yes, I went straight to Japan because really. No sponsors and nothing. So then I got a phone call from Japan that they were willing to pay. Yeah, there was no sponsors that time for me to continue at all. So I had a phone call from Japan, and they said that they will pay me to go there to race, and I said okay, that's it. And I was on the next flight to Japan, and actually it was a good move because I didn't know anything about racing in Japan that time, and there was half of the future Formula One grid was there. So there was Johnny Herbert, Eddie Irvine, everybody was there. Frentzen, Ratzenberger, we were all there. And it was really good for me because I was racing against real professionals.
Can you see this photo here? This was one. Oh, God knows where this was taken.
Yeah, that's normal. That's taken. That was normal when we came back from a race for like Suzuka. I think this is after Suzuka. There's I think one of them is Adam Cooper actually, and he was hanging around with us a lot. And there's Apicella, me, and Ratzenberger and Danielson, I think.
Did you know Chris Hodgetts? He was out in Japan for a little bit.
I know the name, yeah, but I don't know him well. But there was because Japan had a lot of different championships, like they still do. They had a Formula 3000, which was the main thing. Then they had a Group C, Group A. There were so many championships, and that first year I went there, I did all three. I did Group A, Formula 3, and Formula 3000 because I thought, while I'm there, so why not to race all the time? So I had a race almost every weekend. So some guys, like Group C guys, I never even saw because they always had a different weekends when they were racing than us.
Yeah, there was just opportunities, and you were just getting paid as a driver, I'm guessing.
Yes, and that was exactly why I went there. So it was, but the racing was good. It was a good lesson for me also.
So sorry, you're racing in Japan most weekends then?
Yeah, most of the weekends. Yeah, and when I did all the three championships, that was actually fun because I liked racing, and it was a bit confusing though with the Formula 3 and Formula 3000. They were so different cars, especially with the Formula 3000 because they had these soft tires, qualifying tires for one lap, and but it was a good lesson for me to race with these guys. Everybody was professional, and they were racing for money there, so it was serious business.
So I suppose it raised your game as a driver, did it?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was first time. It wasn't a hobby anymore. It was a serious first time, and I wasn't like I could not have days when I say I don't feel like driving today. I had to drive.
Yeah. So your chance with Lotus. So you were at Suzuka, and it was wet, and you had a pretty decent race.
Yeah, I finished 10th, but 10th in those times was nothing because only 6 scores points. But main thing was I beat Alex Zanardi, who was my teammate, and he was very highly rated. So I managed to beat him on that race, and it went so well. So then after the race, Lotus asked me if I can go to Australia also with them, same for the next race.
So how long did you do with Lotus? A couple of years? I should know this. I did look actually on the. I'll bring up some the screenshots.
Only 2 races. Only 2 races because Lotus folded after that. They were bankrupt. So yeah, no, I did only 2 races with Lotus, and then I had Ken Tyrrell came to me and offered me a 3-year contract straight with them, and I took that because I had nothing else going on.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you did that for 3.
Yeah.
You were with Tyrrell for 3 years.
Yes, I was with Tyrrell for 3 years, and also good times with Mike Gascoigne and Howie Postlewhite and all these guys, and we had a good. Like it was a good team. Just I'd say first couple of years were a little bit poor because the Yamaha engines, but the car was good all the time.
So the car was on the case because it didn't have a lot of the engine. I remember the saying, "Unless it snows, the Yamaha blows." Was that the deal?
I think the first year I don't even remember if I drove ever back in the pits. I always came back with a tow truck.
So you were with Hitotsuyama the first year?
Uki was my teammate for first 2 years.
First 2 years.
Yeah, and then Jos Verstappen.
Yeah, so we spoke briefly about what was Jos like as a teammate?
He was first teammate I was scared to do any practical jokes on because he was so aggressive. So he would punch me if I get caught doing something. So I didn't do much with him. But we had fun. We had fun together, and we're still friends together. So. Yeah,
I saw some of the. There was a photo actually of you and I'm trying to find it actually back here. Of you and here we go. Hang on, bear with. With Max.
Yeah, Max is standing there and stairs. I remember this is taken in Spa.
Ah, yeah. So were you racing at that point? Or is this later? It must be later, is it?
It's later. I think I don't remember when this is taken, but I think I was racing in America at that time, doing GT cars.
So I remember you saying, so the job, so I watched one of your other podcasts and you said the job that that Jos has done with Max has been, yeah, it's pretty spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah, he basically stopped racing himself and started training Max for Formula One, and result is that you have a best driver in the world.
Yeah, he's just doing a mega job at the moment, isn't he?
He's unbelievable. It's just he's mentally strong and he's so fast with that not so good car, and he makes McLaren guys look a bit poor at the moment.
Yeah, he's generally acknowledged that the McLaren is the better car, right?
Yes.
Just coming back to this year, so it's got a photo here. I don't know if you can see it of. So this would have been what, about 97.
Yes.
Nice.
97 in Monaco, yeah.
The X-wing, was that the first time that you ran those? So you found a loophole in the regulations to get a bit of extra aero.
Yeah, it was Harvey Bosselwhite. He was so clever with that thing, and quite soon everybody was using those. They were so ugly, but they gave a little bit extra downforce.
Oh, those antennas.
Yeah, especially at somewhere like Monaco, I suppose.
See that? Yes, but we lacked so much downforce in the car, so we used them basically everywhere.
Have you seen that before, Max?
Which one? This picture?
Yeah, have you seen
No, I
that
haven't
car before?
I don't think so.
You fancy getting
I have
those,
a lot
because you raced GP4, didn't you, Max?
Yeah, F4, yeah.
F4, yeah. You don't see those on an F4 car.
Yeah, I have a lot of his model cars, but I don't think I have this one, or I have seen this one.
Oh, cool, man. So did you start collecting your dad's cars?
He gave a bunch of them to me.
Yeah, because I had so much shit everywhere in the house, so I needed to get rid of it. So he has an apartment, so I put everything there.
Nice.
No, but it's nice memorabilia also.
So after that, so you were out of a drive after, where was it, 90, in 98, was that? When you were just doing with a little bit for BAR, am I right in saying that?
Yeah, it was actually 98 I did with Arrows, with that black car we saw earlier in the pictures, and this one. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
99 season was just about to start, and Tom Walkinshaw came to me and said he wants to get rid of me and get Takagi in the car. That's
Okay.
funny thing is about this is Max is driving now in Japan, and guess who is his teammate? Sean Walkinshaw.
Sean Walkinshaw.
Yeah, he's Max's teammate now. It's funny that he used to work for his dad.
I know, isn't that amazing? Well, here's a funny thing, right? So I grew up in a place in the Cotswolds called Hook Norton. And I don't know if you ever see Jeremy Clarkson on TV, Clarkson's Farm. Well, that was at a place called Chipping Norton. So when I used to go to Silverstone every day, I used to drive through a village called Swerford. And that's where Sean Walkinshaw would have lived. And I think probably still goes back to in the UK now. I used to drive past his house every day.
There. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really nice.
Tom just realized that he makes more money when he gets rid of me. He thought that he don't have to pay me, and he takes Takagi with a lot more money. And eventually it ended up the 99 good year for me, because I got paid by Tom anyway for that year, and also I raced for BAR for, I don't know, 6-7 races, and then I did Ferrari also 6 races. So I drove for 3 different teams on that year, and it was a good year.
Yeah, I've got some photos. I don't know if you can see here. Like that was
yeah, we can see it.
That was a really interesting color scheme, because they had the whole issue with the color scheme back then, right?
Yeah, different colors on both sides of the car. I was wearing this 555 suit, and Shaq was wearing Lucky Strike suit.
Was that after Zonta crash? Was that I heard that they had some kind of bet going on at who could take Eau Rouge flat first or something.
No, Zonta broke his leg at Brazil, in Brazil race, and I jumped in after because I started the season with no seat at all, so I missed actually only 2 races.
Right, okay. And how was that being teammates with Jacques?
Yeah, it was a bit difficult because in those days you had a spare car and it was always set up for Jacques, and what he wants from the car is so different than anybody else's. He has a weird things, and like a paddle shift, he had only one side. He downshifted by pushing it and upshift pulling up, and then his throttle map was just like 1 millimeter, all or nothing. So it was so difficult to drive if I had to use it, and I had to use it quite a few times during that year. I even did Monaco race with that his spare car.
Oh, really? That's weird, having a paddle shift. Why would he go for that? Is that like... He used to play a lot of computer games from what I read.
I don't know. Look at him. He's a weird guy.
Do you know, I quite like him. I've got a picture of his father actually on my on the wall here. He's one of our heroes here in the UK. But I quite like that he seems to tell the truth, at least he calls it as he sees it, you know?
Yeah, he has a very strong like a mind. What he wants, he wants to say it and do it. And because we were living together in Japan for many years, he came to Japan also. And he was living in my apartment most of the time, and we had so much fun with him in Japan.
Did you play a few practical jokes on him?
Yes, a lot. He's so much smaller than me, so I can do that.
Like a little kid brother.
Yes.
So the whole Ferrari thing happened with Michael breaking his leg at Silverstone.
Yes.
And so that gave you the Ferrari opportunity.
Yes. Yeah, it happened very quickly. I had a phone call almost a couple hours after the accident.
What was the story about John Todd hiding you in his house for a week? What was going down there?
Because they didn't want to tell the media yet who is going to be replacing. They had some contractual things and other things. So I was hiding in his house for, I can't remember how long I was there. My only friend was Ross Braun, who came to see me every day. Yeah, so Ross was my only friend. I was not allowed to go outside at all. But Ross came every day and brought me some food sometimes. And where Jean was working, he left early. He left like 5 o'clock in the morning and returned 10 o'clock in the evening. That was his work day. I never saw him.
So you just sat around a house?
Yes.
And watched cable TV?
They had no TV. His only decoration was Ferrari front wing in the living room.
No way.
Yeah.
That is just so random. No mobile phone.
I was just stuck in there. Nothing. I was there.
But you turned up. So your first race was, from what I've seen. And so, it was eventually revealed just before Austria. So you were agreed to race in Austria for your first race then?
Yes, I had a few laps at Fiorano first, and so I was a bit more familiar with the car, and Austria was the first race.
And how did the car feel compared to the BAR?
You just don't feel so much difference. It just has more grip. More downforce. Everything is like in a different level a little bit. You don't feel a huge difference, but everything is just a step further than anything else I've seen before. Bigger team, a lot more resources, and we were testing things which were really weird for me. Sometimes with the speed limiter on, hitting the curbs, and they were testing shock absorbers, and it was just a different world.
Yeah, everything just at a higher level.
Yeah.
But man, do you know what? I remember watching that on TV. I was a big F1 fan. Well, still am a big F1 fan now. And I remember watching that on TV. You did a mega job at Hockenheim. Where did you qualify at Hockenheim? Was it like third or something?
Fourth.
But you found yourself in the lead of the race after Mika did you have a fueling problem?
Yeah, I had a good start. I was second from the start, and I was just staying with Mika all the time. We were pulling away from everybody else, and I was easily staying with him. And then during the pit stops, I came out from the pits in the lead because they had some fueling problem or pit stop problem, and then I was in the lead.
But I guess you'd already agreed, so I'm guessing you had some kind of agreement. Was it in your contract or just an agreement that you support Irvine for the championship then?
Yes, that was only point that was made very clear before already, that I'm there only to help the team to win the championship and Eddie to win the championship.
Fair play to you, mate, though. I mean, you literally, I remember seeing it and you was thinking, this guy's going to win this, but of course, you had to pull over. But Eddie's fairly magnanimous on the podium, giving you the trophy.
Yeah, I still have it, and I actually ended up home with the first and second trophies. And then Eddie called me a couple of weeks later and said, "Can I send him to that second trophy?"
Oh, really? So he's given you that second place you've given him that second place trophy, and you kept the winner.
Yes.
That's mega. That is great. I'm loving that. Let's see if I can find. I've got a picture of it. Is that the second place one?
That's the second place one. And it had it's a glass, and it had one wing broken because I think Eddie broke it anyway. But I was happy to send it to him.
Amazing. Fair play to him though for doing that. So what was it like getting a chance in a big team? You'd waited a long time for that point. Was that? I suppose that's a pretty cool moment, hey?
It was good. Yeah, it was good to see how they operate, and it's just so big, so much resources, and so many people. It was a bit difficult to find a place there to. Luckily, Ross was there. Ross is so clever. Like I respect Ross so much. He's just an unbelievable guy. And if he was not there, it would have been more difficult. He helped me in every way. Yeah, and Michael helped a little bit also. I had a few phone calls with Michael about it, and he said who to talk to if there's a problem with something, and he helped me a lot with those things.
Cool, man. And that was a bit of a springboard. So your relationship with Ferrari continued later in Le Mans racing, GT racing?
Yes. Yeah, I did a European GT for a while, and I didn't like that much because the rules were not very kind to us in Europe, because I was ex-Formula One driver, so they gave me 20 kilos extra weight on a car because of that. And then every win you get extra 20 kilos, so after 2 wins, my car was 60 kilos heavier than everybody else's, so it was not really fair anymore. So I asked Ferrari if I can go somewhere else, and they sent me to the US, and that was really good fun. I really loved racing in America.
Oh, nice. What was your favourite circuits? Watkins Glen or?
No, I think Road America is one of the good ones. Laguna Seca is nice. They have so many, and I loved street circuits. And we raced a lot on street circuits.
Nice, man. Nice.
And we won everything there together, and we won Le Mans and all the enduro races we won, and won the championship, and
all the time. So what was that? A 430 back then?
We started with 430, then it was 458 after.
458, yeah. Nice, man. Nice. So yeah, I got some good photos here. Max, you might like this. Let's see if you can see these.
It's Max there.
Yeah.
I still have somewhere the picture when I'm a small kid, and I'm showing the middle finger between me and my mom.
I've got some more here. These are amazing what you can find on the internet. Check out that.
Yeah, that's from Le Mans.
So Max, tell me a little bit more about you then. So you never did go-karting or anything. You just went straight into what was it, F4? Did you do some kind of scholarship or anything first?
No, I was actually mechanic practicing because of my school for my dad's friend, and after that I asked Mika if I could try it out, and it was surprisingly fun. I didn't like cars until I learned that they have gears.
Oh, okay. So it was the mechanical aspect, right?
Max never liked go-karts. I took him for go-karting so many times, and he ended up doing like 2 laps and wanted to go home. So it wasn't fun for anybody.
Well, because they weren't shifter karts.
Yes.
I guess so. Now karting is fun, but back then I thought it was just brake and gas.
Right. So is it the mechanical side that interests you then, Max?
Yeah, I have a few projects of my own also. So
Is this your road cars?
yeah.
Hang on, man. I dug some decent photos out here. So, hang on. I wish I got some better ones actually. This one. Talk to me about this. This looks a bad boy.
That was an car that we bought from Japan because I thought that it's my last chance to buy it before they skyrocket the prices. And the camber on that car is actually a mistake because I ordered an angle kit for the steering, but I didn't read it correctly because it you couldn't make it narrower than 75 millimeters. So yeah, that kind of mistake happened. I couldn't get them to fit under the car anymore.
Did you actually drive that to the event?
Yeah, I drove it like that for a year.
That is amazing. And how many tires did you have to do?
Has it.
Did you have a new set of front tires where it's wearing out the insides of your front tires at every drive?
I was just flipping them around, and then next summer I buy a new set and then flip them around again.
What actually is that? Is that a Skyline?
It's a Silvia, S13 Silvia.
Oh, okay. So what cars are you into?
Most of them are Japanese.
He still has that one also.
That's a lot different now than
It looks quite different, yeah.
Have you ever tried doing any drifting?
Yeah, the Silvia, actually, I drifted it a few times. It's quite nice.
I went on Instagram and I saw you were doing some decent skids round a snowy roundabout. That was a good effort. Maybe in a BMW.
Snowy roundabout.
Yeah, when you go, let me see if I can find it. 2 seconds.
Really old video then.
I think it's in a BMW or something.
BMW.
Might be.
The Audi.
It was an Audi. Yeah, it's like an RS3 or an RS4 or something.
Yeah, it was Mika driving. I was looking from the side because I wanted to learn how to drift.
That's a 4-wheel drive, so it's a bit different drifting.
Yeah. Do you know what? So a friend of mine who used to work at Silverstone is a guy called Topi Sergiala. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know Topi.
Yeah. So we used to work together at Silverstone, and we did an event once at Myra, and they had a turning circle there. He was the only guy. It was the launch of the Audi A8, and he was the only guy that could drift a 4-wheel drive. All of us Brits were just understeering straight off.
Yeah, I never been into drifting, and I had this Keiji Tsuchiya was my teammate in Formula 3 in Japan, who invented the whole drifting scene, and he was so happy about it, always telling me, I invented this sport that you go sideways and do a lot of wheel spin, and I said, you are stupid, that's the most stupid sport in the world, but now it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when they came over to Silverstone, they just get some... But you can get loads of steering lock on those cars. They're just easy. It's harder to drift a proper road car, right?
Yes. Yeah. They are made for that.
So how's Max's drifting? Are you gonna gauge it when he picks up his new car? Are you gonna try it out in the at the garage?
He's been testing out all of my cars that I own.
I don't like any of them.
Are they underpowered? What's the crack?
They just look like Batmobiles, all of them. So
That's funny, man. So Max, what you raced in? So you moved from what, F4 to GT4?
Yeah, F4 to GT4.
I saw that you raced a McLaren 570. What was your first car that you?
My first GT car was a Porsche, Cayman Porsche, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I raced one sprint race and then one 24-hour race with that.
I think I might have a picture of it here actually somewhere. Is that this one?
Yeah, that one.
we actually did together 24 hours of Fuji. I drove with him one race.
Oh, cool, man. What is it? Just you two?
Yeah. No, it was I think 3 others, also some Japanese regular drivers. So I just team asked me if I want to do it with Max, so I said yes, no problem.
Cool, man. How was that?
GT4 is so slow for me, so.
And then you moved on to Mercedes? And then randomly the video cut out for no good reason whatsoever. Anyway, so that was pretty much the end of the conversation anyway. So Max went on to explain that he's racing with Hitotsuyama Racing this year in a Mercedes-AMG GT4 car. It's the same car that he was racing back end of last year. So I'll put a few screenshots up here. So really enjoyed that conversation. Unusual conversation to be having, of course, while he's cruising in the car. But no, I'm really appreciative of Max and Mika for giving their time for doing this podcast. And yeah, hope to catch up with Max maybe later in the year and see how his season went. So hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Don't Lift Off, and look forward to seeing you next time.